Greetings, beloved. I'm Dr. Felicia LaBoy, lead pastor and life coach here at the historic First United Methodist Church in downtown Elgin, Illinois, with another motivational moment from the Bible. These motivational moments are designed to help you take what you hear in church on Sunday, what you may learn in Sunday school, if there even such a thing, what you may hear online, to take those biblical concepts and to make them a part of your everyday life. If you've been hanging around with us, you know that this week was our last week on our God at the Movies 2023. This week, we focused on the latest installment of the movie series, Guardians of the Galaxy. You know the series, right? It may not be your thing, but Guardians of the Galaxy is about this human guy and these really eclectic people who get together to really be guardians of the galaxy, to not just go through the galaxy willy-nilly, but this is a ragtag team of folks who have been called to stop evil in its tracks. Right there is a message. But as I went through my sermon and as I prepared for even this message, I thought about the idea of guardians, not gladiators, that I had come across in my work with the Elgin Police Department. Some of you may know our congregation has been working with the police since I arrived, mostly at the invitation of Chief Anna Lally. Chief Lally, when I got here during the midst of the pandemic and with all that was going on with the riots around George Floyd and the peaceful protests, all of that, wanted to build a ragtag team of folks, community activists, clergy, police officers, other interested folks of all kinds of races, ethnicities, denominations, colors, sexual orientations, the whole gambit. So that if there was some unrest, some infighting, not peaceful protests, but if there was some fighting that threatened to pull our community apart, that we would be together. We could create this fabric, this sort of safety net that we would build by building bridges to one another and studying and working together with one another and having honest conversations with one another and calling out one another and speaking the truth in love to one another, that we would build this sort of safety net that would hold our community together. That right there is a message. And it's the message for Christians. But I want to talk about this idea around guardians and not gladiators, because I think it's really pertinent to where Christians find and understand themselves. In police jargon, having a guardian versus a gladiator mentality says, our job as the police is not to clamp down so hard on particular communities, but to be guardians, to ourselves as really being in service with and to that community. And so that even when we are in the midst of discharging our weapons and doing those things, we understand that our citizens are not the enemies, but that everyone here is a citizen, even the people that aren't doing what they were supposed to do. It recognizes the fact that even though there may be criminal elements in certain neighborhoods, there are also people who were terrorized by those elements too that are in those neighborhoods. Beloved, to be poor is not to be a crime. And even though people that are there are redeemable, that there's something worth it with them. Gladiators, on the other hand, see that they're at war with people, right? It's about a fight. The language that's described. Some of you all may remember the issue in, I think it was in Memphis several years ago, where this group of police officers killed this unarmed African-American guy, right? And when you heard the name of the squad, it was something like Scorpion. And you just began to read the language from that. It was very obvious that they understood that their job was to go into that community, clamp down, fight, strike. Not that any, and didn't even look to see, can we have made a mistake? See, guardians build relationships and they understand that when we're all working together, a safety net is built there so that even in the discharging of their weapon, they can be there is an understanding, great care around that. If we tell the truth about Christianity, especially during the colonial period, Christians acted a whole lot like gladiators. We enslaved people. We Christianized their souls, gave them a Christian name, made them pray the sinner's prayer, baptized them, and then put them in chains as slaves. We did the same thing to Native American people. Today, people, when they do evangelism, they do what I call drive-by evangelism. Run up to folks, do you know Jesus? Are you going to be saved? You're going to hell, blah, blah, blah. No one knows what's going to happen. It's an invitation to join Christ, not a threat, not some fire insurance that we tell people that God is looking for them, but it's an invitation. It's good news. It's not fire insurance. In 2 Corinthians 5, the Apostle Paul's talking about all the stuff he's been through and how hard it's been. But he also wants to remind the Corinthians who have an issue with gladiator mentality. There are retired military, and they think everything is about clamping down, slamping down on people. Kabam! What he wants to do is he wants to talk to them about how God has reached them for real. That it's by love and kindness that God draws us in, right? And so when he's trying to explain to them the ministry that all Christians been given, he says these words from 2 Corinthians 5, verses 18 through 20. All of this, God's grace, God's mercy, God's salvation, us being part of the kingdom, of us and being invited to help God build the kingdom on earth as it is on heaven, all of this comes from God, who settled the relationship between us and him, and then called us to settle our relationships with each other. Remember my motivational moment from a couple weeks ago? It says, God put the world square with himself through the Messiah, or Jesus, giving the world a fresh start by offering forgiveness of sins. And God has given us the task of telling everyone what he's doing. We're Christian representatives, and God uses us to persuade men and women to drop their differences and to enter into God's work of making things right between them. We are speaking for Christ himself now. Become friends with God, because he's already a friend with you. That's a guardian mentality. And beloved, that's exactly what God's done. Pulled this ragtag team of people together, no goodness of our own, by his sheer grace and mercy, and invites us to offer that same grace and mercy to other people on his behalf. This week, who do you and I need to extend grace to? Who do we not, or not who do we not, how do we stop saying, oh, people should just lock them up and throw away the key as if no one's redeemable? Really? I don't know. One of the things I know for me is that I'm going to pray hard about this message and ask God, where am I being a gladiator, and how to show me how to be a guardian. To emphasize that point, I pray that you'll stick around for this week's Refresh Your Soul moment. It's Maverick City Music and Kirk Franklin. In March of 2022, they walked into the Everglades Correctional Center. Not to bring Jesus to the prisons, but to see the Jesus that was already there. And to say that we, as brothers and sisters in Christ, have come with you together to worship God. The song's entitled Bless Me, and some people may see it as a prosperity gospel thing. And simply it's saying this: Lord, bless me with everything you want to give me, not so I can heap all of that up on me, but so that I can be a blessing to other people. And bless me, God, so that what people thought was impossible with me, where people thought I was irredeemable, where people thought that I wasn't worth it, God, bless me so that my enemies, my haters, and the people who talk about me have to look at my life and see your thumbprint, your handprint on me, and want what I have. So it's a little different kind of song. It's kind of like more like a chant or something like that. May give us a feel for how to reach younger folks. But I pray that you'll stick around for it. I pray that you'll take seriously the message of Kirk Franklin and Maverick City being in that jail with their brothers in Christ. Beloved, I am Dr. Felicia LaBoy, lead pastor and life coach here at the historic First United Methodist Church in downtown Elgin, Illinois. Be blessed, and I'll see you here next week.